Okay, so today I'm only going to talk a little bit, but today what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of crystals with resin. But instead of putting crystals in the crystals, we're going to put flowers, some foil, maybe some iridescent flakes, some mylar. And we're just going to have a little bit of fun with it. Okay, so let's get started. I'm using Let's Resin resin. It's UV resin. I just like to put it in my little cup first. I'm not going to add any color to the resin because I want to be able to see what I'm adding into the mold. I want to see the flowers, I want to see the foils. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. So we're just going to add a little resin here. And I'm going to take this pink champagne color. I'm just going to take a little bit of the foil. Now I got this foil ages ago. I think I got it off of Amazon. I had a big pack of it. Any foil will work really, but I'll see if I can find some, and I will link it in the description. I'll see if I can find some comparable to what I'm using. So I'm just going to mix that into the resin. Get that hair off my tool. Again, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I have cats and I clean before I film, but cats and their hair gets everywhere. Now because I use that pinky purple, I'll probably use a couple of these flowers and maybe some of these. I'll have to see. I'm going to use this mold here. So I'm just going to pour this. And I want to keep that sort of down there. And then what I'm going to do, because I want to keep that in that area there, is I'm just going to cure this for like 30 seconds and I'll be back. Okay, so all I did was I cured it enough so that it's not going to move on me. Now I'm going to add just a little bit more of it because I do want it to blend a little, but I don't want like huge gobs of it everywhere. And I'm going to add some clear this way. I could add the pink flowers too since that opened. Because I don't want a huge disconnect with the foil and not foil portion. So that's why I want a little bit of the foil, not a lot of the foil where the flowers are going. But I also don't want a bunch of foil up here. Because you know how some crystals have like a lot of color down here, and then they have some in the middle, and then they're mostly clear at the top? That's sort of what I'm going for. Only with the foils and the flowers and the resin. Alright, I'm gonna cure this again for like 30 seconds to a minute and then I'll be back. Okay, so I cured that for a little bit longer. I'm gonna put the rest of this foil right in there like this. Now I don't want it to come out of the mold, so I'm being very careful. You see the mold is here. Sorry about my hand and it not focusing. Okay, so the mold stops here. I'm going to cure it again. I'm going to tip it as far as I can without the resin spilling. And I'll be back. Okay, now what I'm going to do is the little cup I added the resin, I'm going to put a little bit of clear. Put that down. I'm going to add a few more flowers, but I think this time instead of adding the pink and the purple, I'm going to add a couple of those cream color flowers. And all I'm doing is trying to add just a little bit of depth Put in a couple of buds here. Because that's the nice thing about doing UV resin. You can do multiple layers in a short period of time. This would take me a lot longer if I was doing this with epoxy resin. I have done this with epoxy resin. And the results have been beautiful. It's just as I have progressed in my art, I have found the need to create more pieces in a shorter amount of time. So I've turned to UV resin more. I mainly use epoxy when I do the bigger pieces now, which I'm planning a rather large epoxy piece next that I think you're all going to enjoy. I'm going to add a little bit more resin to hold these in place. With this being multi-layered, I'm doing a little resin at a time and curing just to make sure everything cures properly. So I'm going to just finish curing this. I'm not going to be adding anything else to this except the resin now, and I'll be back for the unmolding. Okay, I'm probably going to have to fill this or sand it right here, but let's see what it looks like. So you can see with the different layers and taking our time, it gives this crystal a lot of dimension. Sorry for the shakes. So I hope you have a good rest of the week. I'm just gonna clean this up, fill the back. You can drill holes in it to make it a pendant. You can just display it. Really, the possibilities are endless with these. So, have a good week. Bye-bye.